Let's get into the prediction part. First game we're looking at is St. John's versus Kentucky. St. John's versus Kentucky. Kentucky finally got their first solid win against Indiana. I don't think Indiana's that good. They ended up beating Indiana 72-60. Now, I'm just not really high on Indiana. I did predict Indiana to win. I will say it. Tucker predicted Kentucky, so that's a point to him. I just don't think Indiana's that solid of a team. I'll go ahead and say it. I'm taking St. John's here. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? Neutral floor. It's at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. 11:30 a.m. December 20th. I don't see Kentucky winning this game. If it was at home, I would have more hope for them, but I just don't see them getting it done. Their biggest struggle, Kentucky's biggest struggle, is their big men. They have no big men at all, like who are like solid, and that's why they really need to get Jaden Quinton's back. I know they're praying for him to come back because he's a big body. Now they have Malachi Moreno, who's 7 foot, but he's just not that great of a player. And I don't see him being the guy that stops Zuby Ejiofor and then Bryce Hopkins. Like those are St. John's best players, and I don't see Kentucky having the offense or the defense to stop those two guys. Kentucky's offense continues to be bad. I mean, they're averaging 84 points a game. That's like, as I said this before too. If you're in the 80s, you're not doing very great overall if you're averaging 80 points per game as like a high team. And Kentucky is one of the blue bloods. I mean, they are definitely one of the blue bloods. I'm honestly really shocked by this. St. John's is 18 in KenPom and Kentucky's 19. I think that is I was astounding, honestly. I would not have Kentucky in my top 25 if I was like the guy over this. And I know that like he does the metrics, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. The only way I think Kentucky wins this game is if Otega Owe finally has a breakout game. Finally. If he can finally have a breakout game, then maybe they can win this game. I mean, he had 16 against Gonzaga, 21 against Northern Carolina Central. It's whatever. It's Northern Carolina Central. Then he had 10 against Indiana. You can, from your best player, you got to have more than that. You got to have more than 10 points. And I know they won the game, but he has just been extremely disappointing, especially with what everybody was saying about him, saying SEC Player of the Year, Wooden Naismith Player of the Year possibility, Wooden Award top 50. Like, he's just been extremely underwhelming. And I know that we seem to be bashing Kentucky like every episode, but I just can't seem to like give them any support yet until they prove to me that they have turned it over and maybe figured some things out. I'm going to continue to believe what I believe, that Kentucky is just not good this year, that they're just not a good team. So give me St. John's in a close one. I do think it'll be close. Neither team really scores that much. St. John's averaging 88 points per game. Kentucky, as I said, 84 points per game. Now, Kentucky is doing a little bit better on the defensive end, holding opponents to 66 points per game, while St. John's is holding opponents to 72, which is pretty bad overall. Let's look at their offensive rating. I want to see if I can find it real quick. St. John's at 18 offensive rating, which is I'm actually really surprised by that. And let's see, I'm trying to find Kentucky so far. I don't see them. Not in the top 20. Wait, no, I counted wrong. 10, 20. St. John's is 24 offensively. And Kentucky is 36. Sorry. I should have had this down already. But Kentucky 36 offensively and St. John's at 24. 24 and 36 offensively rating on KenPom. I'm actually surprised by St. John's being 24. I'm not surprised to see Kentucky that low. I honestly thought they'd be even lower. They have been extremely disappointing team so far, and I know Mark Pope is thinking the same thing. Like, man, what? He's probably just scratching his head, like, what's going on with our team? Maybe, just maybe, like when they get all their guys healthy, will they be really solid? Will they be a really solid team? I don't see it, but you never know.